Well, hi guys. My name's Michael. Making a little video on how to build a coop and kind of some tips and tricks of how to make a pallet wood coop and the easiest way to do it. Yesterday I started doing this and it took me about 3 hours alone just to get the pallet wood off of 3 or 4 pallets. So show you a little bit easy trick and kind of show you my guys. Got myself some 10 chickens, 2 turkeys, and 2 ducks. The coop I made was just too small, and the guy that sold us it said that it was big enough, but we want to make something a little bit for these guys. So they're all trying to sleep on top of the coop, and I think they like the roost, but we're going to try to make like a 4 to 5 foot tall pallet wood coop. So kind of give you a little overview of what this coop looks like. Got a gate, got some farming fence, just kind of like, or farmer netting for the hawks so they don't get the chicks, but they're big enough they can probably handle their own. So now I'll show you kind of a good way to start. I forgot to show y'all. I started out with a pallet that was 8 feet wide, and I got it from just a local golf club that was giving away all the pallets that was using for like just like sod and stuff coming in. So I just snatched it up, and this is what it looks like so far. I made 6 legs of 4x4s that I picked up online from a local place here in Colorado, Pueblo, and made the legs, and then just did there was some pallet wood missing, so I just replaced it with some other pallet wood that was about the same length. I think it was 48 inches, so it's close to 4 feet deep. So, and then from here up we're gonna try to do about 4 to 5 feet with a lean-to top, kind of like what we have going on here, except for I'm probably gonna have to replace this plastic because the wind kind of got it. A buddy of mine suggested it, and I think we're gonna have to just go with some metal sheeting. So all right, stay tuned. I'll show you a video of me using the sawzall to cut up the pallets. All right, so this morning I got out here and moved the old chicken coop so we can put the new one in place. So that's what it looked like. The chicken coop we bought was like $150 from someone, and it was just too small for our 10 chickens. We had asked the guy, and he kind of, we're new chicken owners. We didn't know anything about it, but that coop right there, way too small. That's more like maybe a 4 or 5 chicken coop. So I would suggest getting something bigger or making something bigger yourself. Had to use the old refrigerator dolly just to move it because it's so big. All right, so this is the 4 by 8 foot chicken coop base that we made. And the first video kind of shows you about 2 or 3 minutes of what I was explaining. We got 1 big pallet. I just replaced it with some extra pallet wood that we got. It was missing some boards when I picked this pallet up, but I think this is a good base. We got 6 4x4s listed on it, and we're gonna start there. I'm gonna start by putting some 2x4s on the ends, and then we're gonna replace this wood. I was gonna make it just like this, but I think we're gonna remove the pallet wood that I couldn't get in the holes, and we're just gonna put a piece of plywood that's weatherproof on the bottom, and then we're gonna do some laminated tile on top of that. Every video or chicken page that I follow, it's kind of said that laying that laminated tile on the top is an easy cleanup, and then you could put any like wood chips or straw or hay, whatever you want on top of that. So the next video I'll kind of show you what we're going to start with today, I'm going to go pick up some plywood and then a few 2x4s, 2x4x12s, and see if they can cut them for me. Lowe's lets you cut for like 16 cuts for free, so that's just something I don't have to do later on today, and they're perfect cuts. So until I get the table saw, that's what I'm going to do. So we'll get back with you shortly. All right. Alright guys, how you doing? So this is a number 2 video. I'm going to have a bunch of takes in this video, so multiple video clips kind of giving a breakdown of what you need. If I were you, I'd get a pen and paper, kind of just jot things down throughout this whole video. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to, like I said, described before, that I got a 4x8 foot pallet. And you could probably get these somewhere. I mean, I would just, if you really needed to get one, get on Craigslist, and I go to the free section normally a lot to get free wood and stuff. You'll find someone like that has it. And then these are 4x4 pieces. I put 6 legs on them on the corners. And then this 8-foot pallet had some missing planks, so I just put some new planks in there. So I'm going to unscrew the ones that are here to make them level. But our first step is going to is to kind of cap the ends off here and make them even. So what I'm gonna do is these sections right here, these are just one of the pallet sections that once you take all the wood off, you'll get a lot of these 4-foot sections that have them. If you kind of look, they don't really match up very well, so I have this little overhang. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of them, put them on the ends to make them flush, and then I'm going to cut off this little you see the lighter mark on there. I'm going to cut that section off with a just regular circular saw, skill saw. I'm all doing all this whole thing with skill saws and the Sawzall, but if you choose, you can use a table saw or something a little better for precise measurements. But this whole coop is not going to be 100% precise, but nothing I've built has been 100%. So, but it still looked damn good when I got it done. So, all right, stay tuned. All right, so I kind of made I like to use pencils, but I lost all my pencils right now. But I use permanent marker, about that same, pretty close. So. We use the circular saw. Chop with the skill saw. Alright, so next step, these done. So what these are pretty much the middle of the pallet once you take the wood off. They're about 4 feet long. I had to cut a little bit off. If you look at the shaded portion right here, I don't know if you can see, maybe on the other side, but I think it was only like 2 inches, but I just did it so it can line up. Like I said, this is 4x8, so I just wanted to do the end so that I have something to screw my lumber into, and it's somewhat even across, all the way across. Alright, so the next I'm gonna remove these crappy boards that I put in here, and we're gonna put some weatherproof 4x8 plywood down next. Well, as you can see, the 4x8 actually fits just perfectly on this. So I'm going to get her screwed down, and the next step will be making a plan to put the treated 2x4s on the sides and on the front. Alright, I'm going to try to make sure it's somewhat flush on the front and the rear if you can, so that you can put your 2x4s on the sides, front and back. Time for a cold beer. So here's a little update on what's going on. So a little bit different than what you guys saw last. Got the 4x8 sheet of plywood put on there, screwed on. I screwed it about 4 or 5 places across on each side, and then in the middle once, because there's one beam that runs in the middle. I got these, the 2x4s. I was going to put 2x4s all the way across, but I think I'm going to change that up a little bit. I'm going to put 2x4s on all the corners, and then followed by these 4x4s. I'm going to screw in place, because you can kind of see how wobbly they are. I think it's going to be fine with that. The rest of the coop I'm going to try to make as lightweight as possible. I kind of really wanted this to be not so heavy anyway, so I'm just going to screw those the 4x4s in. All they are is big old landscaping timbers that someone was giving away for free. So let's see if I can try to screw them in from the bottom a little bit, and then screw them in on the boards. So yeah, that's fun. Hot day out today, so time for a cold beer. Also to add, we kind of got a lean-to roof, and the old chicken coop had kind of lean-to that way. We decided to kind of do it this way. So our closest to the house side is going to be 6 foot tall from the beams that we measured, and then the ones over here on the right side are 5 feet tall. All right, I'm going to figure out how to do the sides. I'll probably have to do 4 different beams. When I get those on, I'll show the next clip. This is Michael again, here in the garage. So I'm going to kind of show you a little bit of what I've done, 3 to 4 pallets, and then I'll take apart one myself to just show you how quick it is. Like I said, I used a kind of like a mini wrench to help, or pry bar to help pry the posts, to help drive out the nails, with 2 hammers. Just one of these here, and one that was a little more flat on that side to help pry it out. Like I said, when I tried taking the pallet wood apart, it took me about an hour a piece to try to get it off, and I came up with like 2 to 3 out of like 7 boards that were already cracked, so I couldn't get it off. Well, I was researching some videos on how to do it better, and saw that they had a Sawzall, also known as a reciprocating saw. This one is Chicago Electric. It's cheap just because I'm trying to do this one project, but after doing it, probably most likely use it more often. So I'll probably use it till it dies, and then if it dies within 90 days, I'll take it back, I guess. But otherwise, I'll probably go to Lowe's and get a nice one. So probably do a lot more work after I realize how easy this is. So you can see this is all the pallet wood, and these are the beams I'll probably also use for the coop as I'm planning this whole coop out. I don't really have a good idea of what I'm going to do yet. pretty hard wood on the front and back, and they're pretty new, I think. So that's why it took a little bit of time. I think I timed myself, and with the light pallets, it took me less than a minute and a half to get all the boards off. So like I said, I would suggest buying something a little more heavy duty. The one I looked on when I was researching how to do this, I think he had a Milwaukee, and it was a 20 volt or something like that. That was pretty heavy duty, and I think it was priced at like 150, 160 bucks. So also with a really good thing, you want to get one with a long blade. I got the heavy duty blades. They come in a 4-pack at Harbor Freight for like $11, which are pretty cheap. Of course, the paint comes off, and you can see some teeth are starting to wear down, but this is like the 6th or 7th pallet that I've done, and you can see how much wood I've already got. So that wouldn't be if this is like your first time and only time wanting to do pallets, but probably some heavier duty blades. These are the ones I got, and they're not bad, so I like them. Also, like I said, always use protection, eye protection, hand protection. I'm no professional in any way, nor am I a professional using YouTube. This is actually my first video that I've actually made myself. So stay posted for more videos on how to make this coop, and just a good idea of how to get like a chicken coop or something like that you guys want to build, or just some ideas. So all right, stay tuned, and like this video if you liked it, and stay tuned for more videos. All right, thanks. Have a good day. Bye. Hey, also just wanted to add this little tiny like 5-10 second video just to make sure you guys know about this Chicago electric tool. As you can see during the video, if you go back, I kind of had some problems. Little button right here, so what it does is it locks it in place. So when you're doing it, it locks it in place, and I can show you guys. It's a pretty big safety hazard, so just make sure you guys pay attention. So press. And the only thing you'll need to do is repress the trigger, and it will unlock it. But I don't like that little that issue, because while I was on top, pulling and prying at that nail, it was pushing that button down very easily, even if I didn't want it pressed down. So just a little tip for you guys. All right, like I said, like this video, and we'll see you all soon. Bye. Welcome all chicken lovers and friends. Just came here to finish this video that I've been trying to finish for quite a long time on this pallet chicken coop. Just kind of let you guys know kind of what I did. I'm not going to go into grave detail on everything, but I'm going to kind of try to leave off where I left off, and kind of finish to give you guys a good idea of what to do. Again, I started this pallet chicken coop because I needed a bigger coop for my chickens. Turkeys got pretty big. They were using the same coop, and now they're not using it, thank God. But we had 10 chickens. Now we got 9. One had to go away, but she got sick, and that's okay. So we're starting to get eggs now too, which is nice. So I'll show you our nesting boxes, and then if you will please subscribe and like below, and then in the description I'm gonna kind of give some links about some of the products that we've used that help us out, including there's a chicken water that is like a heater, which keeps the water above freezing, which is really nice to have during the winter. I know it's summertime, but think about that, because it's really nice to have. Also, we'd have some lamps that we've used that have like a metal grate on that. A lot of people can go buy those at the local Big R Tractor Supply, but it is nice to also have the option to buy it online. Also, we have this, kind of describe it to you here in a little bit. We also bought a solar door, which is pretty awesome. We didn't want to really spend the money on a door for the chicken coop, but it was a little easier because now we don't have to open the door or close it or anything. Keeps the predators out, and when the sun goes down, it stops. When the sun comes up, it comes up. Also, you could actually like there's little settings on it where you can actually, if your chickens don't go in on time, you can actually close it later, up to, I think it's up to like 2 to 3 hours later. There's like a setting for 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 120, something like that. So we'll start here, and we'll kind of
show you a little bit about what's going on. So here's the chicken coop, the end result to it. Wanted to do something to use all this pallet wood we had. We had about 25 pallets. So this is what we did. So it looks pretty awesome right now, but it didn't look pretty awesome when I was putting it together. It was kind of a pain, and there was some piecing that I had to do with the wood, but chickens love it, and that's all that matters. Happy chickens, happy eggs. You'll get more eggs with happy chickens. So also, very good to know is we started composting, but which is good is use your chickens as composters. Use any fruit and veggies, throw them out in the yard. They love it, like for real. So all right, so we'll start kind of where we left off last time. Just know that all this stuff we bought is pretty cheap. I mean, we're just trying to do this out of scrap wood, but we did have to buy some lumber. So bear with me. I'm not perfect at building, and nor do I have a construction permit, or like, I'm not perfect, okay? So if I can do it, you can do it easily. So we left off, we had the treated 4x8 plywood. So that's what we used for the base, and that's what we used for the roofing. So if you want to take out your notebook right now, it's kind of what we used. We have 4 of these, 4 2x4s. We bought 6 foots. I think they're 6 foot each. We did 4 on each side. So this side and this side. And then in the middle, we used another 2x4 that are treated. And then we use some other 2x4, which you can buy that are treated also. Just for the framing and just to hold it together. It all comes together and holds a lot nicer together once you get all the other pieces of wood built onto this. But that's what we used for the framing itself. Kind of expensive when you get it that way, but it lasts a really long time. Okay. On this side, the 2x4s, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 on the other side. Let's see here. For the top, we did a 1x2 just for the framing, because we wanted to put like a little walkway up here. So we did 1x2 all the way around, and then that kind of held it together a little bit too. On top of that, we did some, that's probably a little loose, which I need to fix. This is fine. But we did like a 1/2 inch by 2 or 3 inches as the kind of a walkway. Then we used some pallet wood as a walkway for the chickens. The chickens like to be up high. So do the turkeys. So the turkeys sometimes come in here, sometimes they don't. But they like to be up there at nighttime. They like that breeze. With that, this little fencing is actually poultry fencing. It's made out of like hard plastic. You can buy that at Home Depot. That stuff is pretty awesome. I think you can buy it on Amazon too. I'm sure you can. But we bought it at Home Depot. But we put it around the edging. You can kind of see. Ooh. Pretty nice. Three sides. And then we put the pallet wood over the top of that. So that's for the framing. Let me think. For the flooring, which is really cool, any cheap vinyl. Like we just use this vinyl sheeting, and then you can use this adhesive that goes underneath it. Pretty badass. It keeps everything clean. There's no pee or poop all over the, hey, get off. There's no pee or poop all over the soaking into the wood and stuff. Turkey won't leave me alone. Smokey, what are you doing? So, and then we use sand. I heard it was a pretty good idea to use sand. So all you need to do is use this cat litter scooper and scoop up the poop. So we got to come clean it out, you can see. And then for the nesting boxes, we used another 1x2s, I think, and we put an 8-foot section, and then we used kind of screwed it in from these sides, and then we used this plywood. This is not weatherproof plywood, but if you want to spend the extra money, you can. And we just kind of framed out our own nesting boxes. Nothing fancy. We just kind of did what we could. We used these brackets underneath to hold the shelves. We did a shelf right there. See? Kind of just made it pretty easy. Nothing too crazy. But we wanted to do 10. That way they have enough space, or if we get more chickens, very nice to have. Oh, let me go ahead and describe this door. Lucifer, get out of here. We got this door, pretty awesome. Solar, it plugs in. Nice to have. You can see where I just had a little tiny hole. Just hole in the pallet wood, like it was just a natural hole. Put it through, plugs into over here. You can see that into the wall. But if you want to, you can actually have a 12-volt battery. So it actually comes up here. You can kind of see. We have our lamps for when it gets cold outside this winter. And then they kind of plug in there. Pretty awesome. We're probably going to make a little box. So right there, something like that, so that the cheese and stuff don't mess with them, because they like to mess with everything, so that that thing always falls. So made the door out of pretty easy framing, just like a 1/2 inch by 2 or 3 inches. Made like a rectangle, and then put the wood on, and then measured it out to where we started here. Did the pallet wood, overlapped it, so I have a beam here, I have a beam here inside, and a beam here inside. With that, I just overlapped the pallet wood, and then I took just how I try to measure and make the pallet wood evenly, but you can kind of see how this pallet wood is shorter than this one. But I just I put them up there, and then this extra pallet wood I put screws in because there's a beam right here. There's a beam right here. So, and then I overlapped it down here, and then I just took a skill saw and cut off the side. So that's with the front and the back, you can do that. You can overlap them, it's pretty easy. On the sides, you're gonna have to, since there's a beam in the middle, you actually have to cut kind of to size what that pallet wood is gonna be like. Okay, so got that side done. Oh, ducks being crazy. Did this side the same way, kind of cut the sides, went all the way down. You can kind of see this poultry fencing, I kind of just covered it. I just covered it and overlapped it, pretty easy. But yeah, I just cut the size all the way down. When it came to the door, I just made them go a long ways up, vertical, and then just made an area where I thought the door would fit, because we ordered the door ahead of time, and just kind of measured it out, and that's what we came up with. On the back side of this, you can see underneath here, we had like kind of a hole after we put the door in. We just put a piece of pallet wood here just to cover it up, that little tiny hole, and make it a little more waterproof. We get a lot of rain through here, so you can kind of see we do get a lot of storms that come from this way, so we wanted to make it a lean-to. A lean-to, so the weather will come in and it hit it instead of actually going into the coop. It actually prevents it from doing it. We do get the turkeys that sleep on top and shit all over the top, but still it's still not bad, because it prevents all the weather from coming in. We probably will still put some vents in here, because we're going to do this thing called chinking. And what we do with the chinking is we do it with a lot of log cabins. We fill in the big cracks, and it prevents the weather from getting inside, which is really nice. And actually kind of like a mortar, and actually will keep a wood framed building for a really long time, which is really nice. So to kind of finish up this tour here, so I'm not making this too long-winded, on the back we kind of did the same as the front. We just kind of overlapped it. See what we did here? Kind of cut it to where these beams are at, cut it to where these beams are at, and cut it to where those beams are at. On the end over there, we just we did these boards, and then we cut it with a skill saw on the end. And then this, we just kind of do like a 1x1. You can kind of see here. We use gate latches, pretty easy, little handles. And then these go directly into our nesting boxes. So we can come in here and just get our eggs. Pretty simple. We made these a little bit thick so that we can hold all that straw. So when these guys start laying really a lot of eggs, they all have room. The best thing is that they have room. But yeah, so that's what we did here. We used the 1x1s. We used 2x4s for the back of here. You can kind of see we used 8 foot because it's 8 foot wide. And then we just, I think I used 2-inch screws for the for the hinges, just because I used like 1-inch screws and they started coming out automatically. So you can see our stuff's not perfectly waterproof, but it works. Still keeps the weather out, especially with this, how we have it. There's a little overhang for our roof too, which keeps the dirty waterproof. Second one, kind of the same thing we did for the top door. We just did this on the bottom door. Kind of cut this off to where when it drops, you could still walk by it. It doesn't need to be perfect. See these? Chickens start laying. You can see where they're laying. Starting to actually come in here. But we have a few eggs already, which is really nice. So, but yeah, we're pretty excited. Got this all good to go. I'll walk around and show you a little bit how we have our coop set up too. So yeah, this is the chicken pallet coop. Not too bad, pretty easy to put together. Time consuming, very time consuming, yes. But very convenient. Some really great features is that you have a big door. Whatever you do when you build the coop, you have a big door, so you can come in here with a rake, come in here with a broom, scoop all that crap out, get it all out. Super simple. You know, we got these roosting bars, pretty easy. Chickens love roosting, so whatever you do when you make a coop, make some roosting bars, make some areas where they can lay and they have space. Biggest thing for chickens, make them happy, is they have space. They have that area. Your door doesn't need to be big, but make it big enough for them to come through. Make it convenient. That's all you got to worry about. Super easy. And also make sure that you have this it's all fanned out. Make sure that you have some areas where they can breathe. That's why we're probably going to put a couple more vents in the sides. We haven't decided where yet, but we will. Your little run doesn't need to be fancy. We just literally took 2 pieces of pallet wood. You can see that. We have a fire log underneath just holding it. And then I just got this little 2x4 that's holding on. And I just put some screws in it. Nothing fancy. Nothing fancy at all. So, yeah, that's what we got. I don't know if you guys have liked and shared, but or liked and seen my other videos, but I'll kind of show you a little bit our coop. We got this little feeder kind of area. The turkeys do like to sleep in here quite a bit. We got to feed the chickens actually right now. But we got a little water and feeder, and then my brother-in-law actually gave me these, which are badass. They actually have gravity feeder and gravity water that's got these little nipples, which I'll also add. Pretty awesome. And the water comes out just fine. So if you want to leave your house, you're good to go. And then we got this basic trash can from Walmart. Holds all of our feed. We probably go twice a month to get some, but that's about it. Also, nice to have a falcon or you know, some kind of prey bird like statue or something, so that you don't get any of the birds. Because we got a lot, we've had some issues with other birds coming in and trying to eat the feed. Pellet guns work pretty well for that too. Yeah, so this is what we got going on. If you like the video, down at the bottom, like, subscribe. During the in the description, I will be adding the products that we've kind of used for the chicken areas, and then obviously some other products that we would probably get. So thank you guys for watching this. Please subscribe, share, like, and stay tuned, and we'll be showing some more videos about what we're going to do with our coop. We got a lot more to do. We will look at doing something else with this pond for the ducks. It gets really dirty real quick. They're very dirty animals, but we do have some good ideas. So stay tuned. Have a great day, and God bless.